It's Lance here, Fight HHT with me. I want to share a moment with you, which was one of the most important parts of our diagnostic journey for our family. It's a story I haven't told before. A couple of years ago, myself and my two daughters were diagnosed with a condition called hereditary hemorrhagic telangiectasia. I know for some of you that doesn't mean much. What it does mean is that we've had a lifetime of nosebleeds. I've had the last 5 years affected by chronic illness, and we've had some issues that we've had to take care of. This is a disorder that affects a lot more people than you expect, about 1 in 5,000. Once you're diagnosed with HHT, a few things need to happen. One is looking at your lungs, another is looking at your brain, and another is looking at your liver and other essential organs. So for my daughters, we had these echocardiograms to look at their lungs because, well, lo and behold, I have something that affects my lungs. They're called pulmonary arterial venous malformations. The testing day for our daughters was a little bit hectic because we had one daughter in one room with my wife and the other daughter in the other room with myself. The test didn't go great. It was complicated. One daughter, we had a hard time finding veins. And then for my other daughter, they couldn't get bubbles into her body at all, which is a longer, complicated conversation. Long story short, for my youngest daughter, after waiting a few days to see what was going on for her heart and her lungs, it came back that there wasn't anything saying pulmonary AVMs. Instead, it said something called a PFO. About 1 in 5 people have these PFOs. It's a small hole in the heart. Well, in the diagnostic notes for my youngest daughter, that's what it said. Hey, your daughter has a PFO. Essentially nothing to worry about. She's fine. Have a good day. Fast forward a few weeks, maybe a couple months, and I'm at work. I work at a place that has been very supportive of my condition, and they had decided to, in support of my condition and awareness, buy these little business card holders that come from Cure HHT. Well, a manager pulled me to the side and said, hey, we're going to pass these out. This is what they look like. I'm going to give you one here. And I pulled out this little note card that's in the business card holder. As we're sitting there talking, I'm looking at this little card. I should have it on me. It's in my wallet at the house. But I pull out this little business card and it says common misdiagnoses of HHT. And lo and behold, I'm reading through. It says lungs, liver, blah, 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 brain, misdiagnosis, things like that. And wouldn't you know, it says PFO. And I read that and I stop and I said, hold on a second. You don't know what you just did for us. I just realized that our daughter doesn't necessarily have a PFO, but she probably has pulmonary AVMs like I have, which means that if we don't get surgery, if we don't get treatment, if we don't get referral to proper care, something bad could happen. These things can allow bacteria or blood clots to pass through the lungs and get into the heart and or the brain. I'm not a scientist, not a doctor. Needless to say, these things aren't good. They're not great. They can be life-threatening. They can be very damaging. And that little business card cued me into the fact that we need to look at this a little bit more closely. It literally changed the course of what we were doing as a family to treat and take care of our daughters, and allowed us to get an additional screening, the CT scans, to look at her lungs and actually find out that she does have at least 1 pulmonary AVM, possibly 10. So that's my cautionary tale. If you've ever received any diagnostic test, if you see something that you don't know what it means, if you're not sure, you got to ask the right questions. So that's my story. Enjoy your day.